We're in the end game now.
Guys, there are only 2 shows left to review in the Schneiderverse, iCarly and Sam and Cat. And let me just say, one of these shows isn't as good as the other. I bet you know what show I'm talking about, but regardless, let's just hop into the video. Now, if Drake and Josh was the best Nickelodeon sitcom ever, iCarly is the grandest. The show had over 90 episodes, insane special guest stars, and it very accurately predicts internet trends and actions to a point where it's kinda scary. All while being a great show and, dare I say, a very close second to Drake and Josh. Now, do you know what time it is? That's right, it's synopsis time. Let's do this quick. iCarly is about Carly Shay, who lives with her brother Spencer and starts a web show with her friends Sam and Freddie. Boom. Quick, easy shebang. 2 videos ago, go check it out, I said that Drake and Josh ended in a large part because Miranda Cosgrove, who played Megan, was going to play the lead in iCarly. Now, some might resent iCarly because of its large part in ending Nick's most popular show at the time, but I'm here to say that you have every right to be mad. This show killed Drake and Josh, and it deserves to burn. 0 out of 10. Now, obviously, I'm just being dead-ass serious, but iCarly is by far one of the best sitcoms across all children's networks. I did say one of. But that's enough talk about that nonsense. It's time to talk about what makes this show great and why people who are way too old to care about this show, like myself, still do. First and foremost is the characters. Now, unlike the Victorious video, I'm not going to go super in-depth about each and every character. At least I don't think I am. I read this part before I read the character summary, so, let's go on this journey and figure it out together, mis amigos. On delay.
Later.
What? Starting off with the main chick, it's Carly. Now, like any lead in a Dan Schneider show, with one exception, Carly isn't the best character. Now, I'm not saying she's bad. Au contraire. She's actually a very good character, but when you got characters like Spencer and the all-powerful Gibbe, it's hard not to be in their shadow. But regardless, Carly is the ringleader, so to speak. She runs the web show, cares for Spencer, even though it's supposed to be the other way around. And Carly's also one of the most down-to-earth characters, along with Fredward. And it's just extremely naive but kind, except when she's kind of pushed. And she's a little boy crazy. I ain't gonna lie. She's a little boy crazy. But overall, Carly's a good character. The 3rd best Nick lead out of any Dan Schneider show. She's funny, she's not annoying, and, she's better than Zoe. So, that's automatically a win. Fuck you, Zoe Brooks.
The doorknob came off! Why'd you pull off the doorknob? Because I wanted it for my knob collection!
Redward. The punching bag of the show. Now, Freddie does get some dubs, and this actually annoys me low-key, he's always taking L's to Sam, even if it doesn't really make sense. Like, how is the computer nerd not gonna know what an MPEG is, but the bruh girl will? Anyway, Freddie's probably the stalest of the characters. He doesn't do anything wrong. He has his funny moments. He's pretty down to earth, but he's not anything special, I guess. He does have good moments, and he has some good episodes about him, but he's not, funny. He's just kind of the tech guy. I mean, he's one of the most crucial parts of the show. I wish they had some more episodes where he just, quit, and the show just kind of crashed and burned, just to show how much he should be appreciated. But, he's a good character. I will say his one-way love for Carly, though, is highly relatable, and it hits a little too close to home, because I am painfully single.
I'm in love with you, you just want to be friends, and I'm totally cool living with that constant pain.
Now, Sam's up next, but first I want to talk about this relationship. It made no sense to me. There's no gradual lead up. It only lasts 4 episodes, and after it, everything kind of just goes back to the way it was. Like they didn't even date in the first place. There's one little thing that might say that Sam's a little jealous, but that's it. And I'm not saying they could never get together, but the shit's just random. That's all. On to Sam, I guess.
Don't be afraid. I just want to eat you.
Sam, like I said earlier, is a bruh girl. She's aggressive, snarky, and boyish with a tomboy style. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, her lack of ladylikeness, so to speak, adds a lot to the show. For example, the buttersock is iconic, and when she bodies that dingo bitch with it, it's hilarious. I will say, though, it does seem, at least to me, that Sam somewhat softens up and becomes less unpleasant? Sure, unpleasant. That's it. Next!
Perfect timing. I think my loaf of bread is just about done. Come on, let's go! I'm just gonna give it a few more minutes.
Spencer, to put it as simply as possible, is the best character in the show. He does no wrong. He's perfect. From his actually good sculptures to his childish demeanor, he's just really amazing. Also throw in the fact that he gets mad ladies and is literally a firebender. He creates an unrealistic ideal for man. But besides the fact that Spencer's a god amongst men, he's also a really good brother. He's protective, responsible, and caring. And he would have made a great lawyer.
Loving you is my favorite thing to do.
Now, if Spencer is a god, then Gibby is like Ultra God version 2. I mean, look at this. Whether you like it or not, this is peak human performance. Now, Ghibli isn't just the pretty boy in the show. Even though, like Spencer, he gets mad ladies, he's hilariously random and goes from a background character to a season regular. In fact, Gibby was only supposed to be in season 1. Oh, how things change when you're the Gibby. Gibby even has some development as he goes from taking off his shirt to just saying either his name,
Gibby!
or saying,
I love that.
Another thing is Gibby's an independent soul. When the squad's out going through it, Gibby's just vibing on his own. Small sidebar, he also doesn't care what you're saying. If it doesn't interest him, he just doesn't care.
Yeah, she's kind of bummed.
Hey! Can you go with me to the mall on Saturday? Gib.
I was talking.
Yeah, I know, I wasn't that into it.
And to finish it off, Gibby single-handedly, well, that's not true. He had help from his brother Guppy, the homie.
Happy birthday!
But they still pretty much single-handedly rescued the big three from an insane chicken girl. And he didn't even call the Popo. Now, if that isn't ballsy, then I don't know what is. But now that we got the big boys out of the way, it's time to bring up what adds some depth to the show. The side characters. Characters like Teddy Franklin, Miss Briggs, and this guy add to the school. Insane antagonists like Neville and Nora give us some great episodes. And pretty great catchphrases too.
You'll rue this day. You'll rue it!
And then there's Lubert, who just gets clowned on, but is low-key an extreme representation of most people.
More people!
But the two biggest side characters are Mrs. Benson and Tebow. Now, Tebow only comes around at about the season 3 mark, but this man is a charmer. From running the Groovy Smoothie, to moving in with the Bensons, to saving the big three, and kind of Gibby, even though Gibby gets caught in that chimney, Tebow just never skips a beat. And then Mrs. Benson is just a beast of a mom. I mean, she takes the term helicopter mom and just destroys it. She she puts a tracker in Freddy and makes him sign a contract promising him not to leave her. Like, that's insane. But she does go crazy on the swords. Not even gonna cap on that. Now, both of these characters are hilarious, but to be honest, it was kind of odd watching this show because I thought they were in way more episodes than they were. But honestly, I think that just shows how special certain characters are when you just remember them so fondly, and then you realize they're not in that many episodes. They just have so many good moments that you spread it out throughout the entire series in your own mind. Okay, characters are done, and it took much longer than I thought, but it's time to talk about overall what makes this show great. Like most of these Nick shows that I've reviewed, the running gags are on point. Things like the Buttersock, Freddy speaking Spanish, and Spencer's firebending are great character unique jokes that get a bust of the gut, so to speak. My personal favorites are the mystery of Sacco and his family, and T-Bow's sticks. I also like how some of these running gags get plot relevance, like Spencer setting a fire and the fireman just cutting him off, or Sam's mom, and even when they damage Lubert and have to take care of him, and then he falls in love with Freddy's mom. Those are some really good ass episodes. And Sam's mom, she's played by that lady from Glee. I don't remember her name. I'll put it up on the screen because I don't remember her name. I apologize. Now, sticking with the humor, this is your typical teen Nick Dan Schneider show. Really good sarcasm, even compared to more adult shows. And it has its fair share of adult jokes, most notably the Benson's apartment address, number, whatever. But I will say, compared to the other 3 shows that I reviewed, the humor is much more random. Now, it's not a bad thing. I actually really like a lot of the randomness. It doesn't warrant a straight face or crickets, so to speak, because the randomness is mostly devoted to characters like Spencer and Gibby. Much like in Drake and Josh, how the slapstick is more devoted to Josh. So it kind of works, and it's not overplayed, and you expect it. Make sense? Good. And I honestly think, since I'm done, or almost done, with shows like these, the kids shows with looser restrictions and comedy have a much more sustainable legacy, and it makes kids come back and rewatch it even when they're older, much like myself. And I think that's really special and something that modern kid shows don't really do anymore. You watch modern kid shows, a lot of them have to do with lessons, and they're very childish and, stupid random humor like farts and nonsense. And I don't think kids in 10 years, or kids now in 10 years, are going to look back and rewatch Henry Danger or Game Shakers or Bizaardvark and be like, oh yeah, that was the shit. Because it's not going to hold up as well as iCarly or Drake and Josh or Zoe 101. But that's just my opinion. If you think there's a show out there that, holds up in terms of, being a kid's show, or you think it will hold up, name it in the comments below, because I'm genuinely interested and I might actually check it out. Now, if you were a good little viewer, you might have noticed that earlier in the video I said that iCarly was perhaps Nickelodeon's biggest show, and it's mostly apparent in the guest stars that appear. Now, I know this isn't necessarily, a reason that the show is good, but damn. iCarly had Jimmy Fallon, Jack Black, Emma Stone, Tina Fey, Fred, and Michelle Obama. I mean, come on, that's kind of crazy. And it gets crazier when you learn that Tina Fey was actually a fan and modeled the 30 Rock finale off of iCarly's. Let me just say again, damn. But besides the great guest stars, iCarly was just original. And I dare say, iCarly was the first of its kind. I mean, if you could think of another show similar to iCarly that came before it, please put it in the comments below, prove me wrong. But until then, I think this is Dan Schneider's most original concept. And it even spawned some very similar shows, one that Dan even created. And along with the fact that it's original, it's also very, I guess, smart in the way it predicted a lot of internet customs or trends, like internet beef, selling out, and getting cancelled. Like, those are all things iCarly predicted way before any YouTuber put it into reality. The final originality was the characters. They weren't cliche. Spencer's not your typical tough, protective older brother. Sam, Freddy, and Carly aren't jocks or overly nerdy or a super preppy popular girl. Say that. Super preppy popular girl. Oh, no, it's not that hard. Now I look stupid. But they're just regular kids, and in some ways, they're pretty realistic. Now, the show, I'm not going to say is realistic, but there are moments in the show where you can understand, like I said earlier, Freddy's love for Carly, and, you know, Sam's love for food, because food is a personality trait for some reason. I will never understand that. Moving on. Conclusion time. iCarly was special. It's one of the only Schneider shows to get a finale, and it had 97 episodes, which is second only to Henry Danger, which had 121. But iCarly's obviously better. With an excellent blend of comedy, a great main cast with an extremely good chemistry, a great supporting cast, a plethora of great episodes, and a bumpin' theme song, I would argue that iCarly and Drake and Josh are 1A and 1B in the Nickelodeon live action rankings. And they're two of the most rewatchable kids shows that I've ever experienced. It's just, they're so special, and they hold such a great place in people's hearts that it's weird to think that kids nowadays will never really understand how great these shows are unless they see a video like this, obviously, and then decide to check it out. Now, iCarly isn't on a streaming service, so the only way to really watch it is to bootleg it, but who knows, maybe that'll change. Drake and Josh is available on Hulu, and Nickelodeon has that deal with Netflix, so you never know. What will happen will happen. But yeah, needless to say, this journey watching iCarly was really special. Especially watching it right after Drake and Josh. It just felt like I was going through my childhood and kind of growing up all over again. It's so weird. Anyway, the video's over. So please like and subscribe if you made it through this video, as there's more content on the way and it can only get better. We finish the Schneiderverse with Sam and Kat in the next video, so I'll see you then. Bye guys.